let me teach you everything about reference lines. So say I have a visualization that looks like this. I'm going to have order date with the month, and I'm going to have sales. Very basic visualization. Now, this is not limited to line charts, but it is just for our demonstration here. By the way, the dataset's available, so check the description below. So say I wanted to apply a line that goes across here. Okay, now in a professional setting, why do we do that? Well, it could be we are setting a target. We're trying to make $120,000 in sales. Or it could be a bad thing that is the number of errors that are happening on the assembly line. It depends on what you're trying to do. Now, you have the option of creating one line, right? You can create a second one. You can create a band, right? In there, you have a number of options, and you can do it for across the whole set or in pane. So I'm going to show you the difference, right? So I'm going to bring in category into columns, okay? Just so we have 3 of them. And I'm just going to color it. So I'm just going to color it by dropping category into color. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to add a band. So here in the analytics pane, you're going to see this section right here. Now the thing is with Tableau, and it kind of does it throughout the software, it tries to make it as easy as possible for non-data people to use it. So even though reference lines in here, you can actually create constant lines in there and average lines and box plots. You can see it's here. So they all kind of lead to the same spot, but it's a starting point to make it easier for you. Okay, so here in reference line, if I drag it out, you're going to see there's like a window that appears right here. And some people miss that. I wish they would color the background of this. Okay, but let me show you how to read this thing, right? Let me see if I can get my drawing tool. Okay, so you see here, when you have a visualization, it's going to show you the dimensions here, right? A whole list of them. Then it's going to have table, pane, and cell. Now, if you're not familiar with table, pane, and cell, let me just zoom out here for a second. Okay, table refers to the whole data set in your visualization. Pane refers to any subsection that you have. Okay, so each of these is a pane. So the way you use this is if you want a line that goes across the whole data set, okay, that's going to look like this, right? Say it's what's the average of the whole data set? It's going to look like that. But if you go, well, I want to see the average across each section, which is probably going to be different, right? It's probably going to be something like that. Well, then you're going to use the pane section. Now, the cell section is for a single data point. So for example, say you're here, okay, that is one data point. But if you have multiple dot points on that one, then cell would apply to that one. That could be we're trying to find the average per point. Again, depends on your use case. Okay, so the way we use this is if we drop this into one, our job is to drop it into one of these 6, right? You can see it turns orange there. We want the line to be going across for the measure of the sum of sales, which is our vertical. So we're going to be dropping it in the sum of sales part. If I drop it into table, watch what happens. You're going to see the line that goes all the way across. Now you may be going, oh, that's not what I want. Let me go back. It's actually fine because practically, I think, and let me just see, I think everything except these 3, trend line, forecast, and cluster, in this list, maybe totals, right? Everything else can be created in this one window, right? So it's actually a very efficient way of designing. So if instead, right, and maybe I'm just going to change the formatting so you can see it right away. So here in the formatting section, I'm going to hit a solid line. We're going to go and change it to black and just make it really dense and make it dash, right? Just so you guys can see it. Can I adjust the thickness? Okay, yeah, I'm just going to go extreme so you guys can see it. All right. So instead of having it going all the way across, I can switch it to pane, like so. Okay. And as soon as I do that, you see the average is now applied per subsection. Okay, very, very useful. The rest of this is really just formatting. So here in the line section, what we're going to be able to do is, number one, determine what that line actually is. Right now it's set to average. We can set it to be a constant. We can set it to be minimum or maximum. It depends entirely on you. So here in the value, right, we've currently got it set to sum of sales, but it actually depends on what this is set to. So right now it's set to average, but if I set it to minimum, okay, You see it's the minimum of the sum of sales. Or I can go what the maximum is, right, for the sum of sales. I can go total, which I very rarely do because you can see exactly what it does. It compresses the signal too much, right? It does have use cases. We have average, we got median, right, which is always very helpful. Probably use median more than we use average. And then we have constant, which is the one that's kind of the standout, where you can actually type a number. So say we have a target of 40,000. So I can type in here 40,000. And now I have a number that goes all the way across. Okay. Now, this next section, the label, actually describes this part right here. Okay. What do you want that part to say? Do you want to say 40,000? Do you want it to say the word target, colon 40,000? What do you want it to say? This is where we can control it. We can either say value, right, which is its value, computation. So if it is, for example, sum of sales, it'll say sum or average, or we can simply go custom. So we can say something like target threshold, okay, colon, and then here on this little triangle allows us to use some of those fields, right, in this text. So I can say, well, I can put the value in there, but I can also add in, let's say, the label, right, so sales, and every single one of these I can modify, right? So you can see target threshold 40,000 sales, right, and so on and so forth. And then similar for the tooltip, you can leave it as automatic, which is when you hover over it. Let me just show you. You see it just says 40,000. There's not a lot of context there. So what I can do is to go back inside, I simply click it and go edit. And when I do that, it brings back this window. All right. So here on the tooltip, I can go custom. And again, I can do the same thing, right? I'm not going to mess around with that too much. I'll just copy the other one. And so now when I do a tooltip, you can see target threshold 40,000. Generally, people will say, well, the target threshold is this because of whatever reason, right? So I'm just going to click on that again, left click, edit, right? And we're back to here. Then we have the line formatting itself, colors and so on. You can say that anything above that line is bad. So we can say fill above. I'm just going to go more colors and make it a bit dramatic. We're going to go red. Okay. So you can do that. So it just depends on what kind of styling you want. You can style it on the bottom as well. Say the bottom part is actually good, right? You can do it like that. I would never do that. That is so ugly, right? That's how you would do it. So that is the most basic idea of what a reference line is, or a constant line, or an average line, or a median line, right? It's all the same thing from the same window. Where it gets a little bit different is when you get up here. Right now we're in line mode, but then you have a band. You can have a distribution or a box plot. So I'm not going to go into detail of each one because they're kind of all similar approach. So if I go band, right, the only difference is you've added a second line. So really it's just the same steps, but you're controlling both the upper line and the lower line, and then you've got a bunch of formatting. Distribution, same thing, but you're adding a little bit of kind of tolerance above and below. Again, it's pretty straightforward. There's only one or two extra buttons. Box plot gets a little bit different, but I'm not going to go into that just because generally people don't make box plots every single day. So if you're like a statistician or someone really interested in box plots, please reach out. And I'll do something very specific for box plots because it does take a little bit of time. But that should give you everything you need to know for reference lines and a number of combinations. By the way, I teach all of this, everything in the analytics pane in detail on my website. Be sure to check that out. If you have other problems that you're struggling with or videos you want me to do, be sure to reach out. Until next time, thank you for watching and bye.